Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, we are broadcasting from inside Renaissance Bank in beautiful Alpharetta. And if you aren't aware, Renaissance Bank has just been voted one of the top 10 banks in the United States, and that's by Forbes magazine. So that's serious. And here's the reason why I think, from my own experience, why I think that happened. I think Renaissance is big enough to handle pretty much any need you can throw at them, but small enough to do it in a personal way. That's what I found anyway. So if that's what you're looking for in your bank, what I would encourage you to do is go to renaissancebank.com to learn more and find their local office near you, some 200 across the South, and give them a call. I think you'll be glad you did. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome Stephanie Donaldson. Stephanie is the Executive Director for the Johns Creek Arts Center. Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you, John. I'm so happy to be here this morning.
We're delighted to have you here. Let's talk about you and the Johns Creek Arts Center. How are you serving folks out there?
Oh, right. I appreciate this opportunity this morning. The Johns Creek Arts Center has been in our community for 26 years as a nonprofit art organization, and it started as a grassroots effort 26 years ago by a few local artists and art enthusiasts that wanted to bring arts to North Fulton County. And we have grown hugely over the 26 years that we've been in the community. I've been with the Art Center now for 9 years. Mm-hmm. I began as a volunteer, and the Art Center found a very important part in my heart, and I have never left.
Wow.
And stayed within the community of the arts over the 9 years, working in different positions as the director now. It was quite a journey to get to this point. I became the director in February of 2020, when COVID exploded.
Wow. That's, we were talking about this before we came on the air. That's, there's a lot of words you could say, I guess, when about that. Some of it, we're family friendly here, so we're not going to say all of them, right? But, talk about what went through your mind when that happened. I mean, you take the job and then all of a sudden, boom, you're closed.
I was not going to let the ship go down on my watch. I have a huge passion for the Art Center and all of the incredibly talented instructors that are teaching there, all of the children and the adults and elderly people that are taking classes, which find it their therapy, the release, and having the experience of arts in their life. And then, of course, our staff is working super hard to support their families at the Art Center.
Sure.
So we were deemed non-essential, and we had to close the doors 3 weeks after I took over. But in 8 weeks, we were able to formulate a plan and come back and open the doors. We had enough staff and teachers that were willing to don a mask, roll up their sleeves, temperature check, and we opened on May 31st of 2020.
Wow.
And we held 10 weeks of summer art camp with 300 children coming into our facility. We never had an issue, and we have been growing stronger and have stayed open ever since.
That is awesome. What a great story. And by that point, you had some kids ready to get out of the house, I bet. They were ready to come your way.
Maybe more the parents wanting them out.
That's true. That's true. I can see how that would be for sure. Well, let's talk a little bit about maybe step back a minute and talk about the history of the organization. And been around quite a while. How has the organization grown and developed?
So back 26 years ago, the Art Center was created and named the O.C. Warsaw School of Arts, and it was in a real tiny little building in Johns Creek. And matter of fact, everything was done on paper by hand, which is hard to even imagine these days now that we're so computerized.
Right.
We moved to our new facility 17 years ago, and we've outgrown that facility. Throughout the year, we'll have approximately 200 classes in the arts for adults and for the youth. And then we'll do a week of spring break camp. We will do 10 weeks of summer art camp. We have 7 to 8 exhibitions every year. We'll have a holiday market. We have a Mother's Day market in the spring. We do extensive outreach now in the community, which is a huge, important part of our business because we find it super important to give back. For example, we are at the Drake House in Roswell. Our teacher who teaches art there, we supply all the supplies and we pay for the teacher. We also do art classes and instruction and camps at 3 of the Title I schools.
Oh, wow.
And we have an active senior art program at Newtown Park in Johns Creek. And then we've created several family fun days, drive-up days to educate people and get art projects out to our community and to our families.
And what I'm hearing you say is that you're really serving all of North Fulton and beyond. And the misnomer here that some folks might have is that your city of Johns Creek. While you're in Johns Creek, you're an independent nonprofit serving a wide area.
Absolutely. We serve a tremendous area. People are coming from as far as Canton to take art classes at the Art Center.
Wow.
And then the other part of this is we work super hard to fill our classes and our camps because 70% of our revenue comes from our classes and our camps. The other part of that is writing grants. We're doing sponsors. We look for donors and working hard to take care of ourselves as we go along the journey. But we have people who've been with us for the 26 years, and we've seen children who are elementary school children that are now in college, and they come back and they help teach our camps. And it's just a wonderful feeling of a family, and it's a community. There are teachers that have been there for 25 years. You would not be disappointed to come over to the Art Center, to take a class, to come shop, to say hello. I invite everybody in the community, just stop by. And I'm there most days, and I would love to give you a tour.
Talk about the programming, if you will, the classes, the various classes that you offer. And what's the proficiency someone needs to bring to the table?
You don't need to bring anything to the table. I'll give you an example. We had a gentleman who was a retired attorney, and he'd never done art in his life. His wife bought him a gift certificate to come take a class. So he came in, no experience at all, and over the years that I have been there, he has become a fabulous painter.
Wow.
And he shocked himself. So our classes start at kindergarten, and they are called the Little Mini Masters, and they'll be in a Mini Master program from K to 2, and then from 3rd to 5th grade is our next section, Art number 2. Art number 3 is the middle school children, and then they advance into our teen programs. And we have drawing and painting, we have anime and manga, we have watercolor, we have a full clay studio for the youth and for the adults as well, and color pencil classes, mixed media, and caustic. I could go on for hours, John.
Wow.
How much time do I get with you today?
Well, that's pretty awesome. Some of those things you mentioned, I don't even know what those are. I may have to come take a tour. But what I heard is that ladies that are at home with their retired husbands need to give a gift certificate.
Thank you for that plug.
That's right. That's a good way to get them busy,
Sure.
right?
We had a gentleman in class last week in classes from 10 to noon. He was still there by himself at 4 o'clock painting. So I'm not sure what happened at home. Maybe he got the locks changed. But
Right. That's awesome. So what are the times of day of these classes? Are they at various times during the day to accommodate the working crowd, or?
That's a great question. So we have classes that begin at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we will have, those are the adults. Then we have a mid-afternoon break where people will come and use open studio time to come in and paint or just work in the clay studio on their own. Then the children come after school. And then the adults return in the evening for evening classes, which may start as early as 5, and they go up to like 9:30 in the evening. The other wonderful thing that I wanted to mention is we are also currently in 6 of the elementary schools here in North Fulton County as well, doing their after-school art enrichment, which has been very convenient for parents who need an after-school program at their school. So we've been doing this for many years as well.
Let's shout those schools out. But we may have some folks that would like to know if their school participates.
Great idea.
Yeah.
So we are at Wilson Creek Elementary. We are at Finley Oaks Elementary. We are at Shakereg Elementary, State Bridge Road Elementary, OC Elementary, and Dolvin Elementary, all up here in North Fulton County.
Yeah. Wow. That's terrific. I would assume that's what's the cost of that program for kids that want to participate?
So we break our programming down into a winter session for 8 weeks and a spring session. So for our children, it could be for the 8-week session anywhere from a 185 to a 215 for a drawing and painting class. Our clay classes on site are a little more expensive only because the clay supplies are more expensive and there's firing and glazing. Sure. So we keep it really reasonable. It really boils down to close to and maybe just less than $25 a class.
Yeah.
It could be an hour and a half to a 2-hour session. And then if you have a middle school or high schooler that's interested in digital arts, we have a digital art lab as well. We're doing photography classes in there. We have illustration classes in our digital lab and a writing class as well.
Writing. Wow. Fascinating. So let's back up and talk about the arts generally and why the arts are so important to the community.
I love when people ask me that question, and I get that a lot because I'm always talking about the arts. So I have really 3 responses to that. My first one is always, not everybody wants to play soccer. And then I always tell people to look at the clothes you're wearing, look at the car you're driving, look at the TV, your cereal box. Where do you think that came from? It was a creative person who has been able to put these things together. Architects build your home. And then the other part of it is art has always told the history of mankind, from cave dwellers to pottery, jewelry, anything that's been found. They didn't keep books. They didn't have photography to put on a thumb drive. So we've been able to look at the history of mankind and kind of have a better understanding of where we came from. I'm going to add a 4th one.
Yeah, please.
Which really was resounding through the COVID event that we've all been living through. So many people of all ages and parents have said that being in the art center and doing their art was their therapy. It was their happy place. And we provided that for them. We even made sure that artists were able to have their work exhibited. We changed our platform on the website. People weren't coming in to see shows, so we created a whole platform for virtual shows. We put some little youth classes and events on our YouTube page and follow along easy art activities for children. We didn't give up, and we never did stop.
Right. Wow. That's terrific. Folks, we're here chatting with Stephanie Donaldson, and Stephanie is the executive director of the Johns Creek Art Center. I would think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think that students that are active in the arts, it really helps the rest of their academic career in some form or fashion. There's
absolutely been studies that have proven that children who have been in the arts have actually go beyond and go farther in their academics. It helps to give them guidance. When you're doing art, you actually use a different side of your brain, and you kind of close out all the other noise, and it helps you to concentrate. And we have children that are extremely talented. We have a high honors art competition coming up here for the summertime, and it's open to high school and middle school students from all over the area. The work is breathtaking, astounding, and I'm so proud that we have this talent just here, and it's bursting.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So let's talk about the community outreach programs that you do that are free.
They're free. Many, many free programs. I had touched base earlier about the Drake House in Roswell. And if you're not familiar with the Drake House, they are a shelter that takes in mothers and their children who are experiencing homelessness. So we've been involved with them for several years. May of 2020, during COVID, I had reached out to them, asked, do you need art supplies? What can we bring over? Because we're not coming in person because of COVID. they needed gift cards for the mothers to shop, to buy food and buy cleaning supplies. The Art Center did a greater give, and we raised $1,200 for the Drake House in May.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And now we're back. Our teacher will go to teach art to the children there. We pay the teacher, and we buy all of the art supplies. And then we'll go to 3 of the Title I schools here, Esther Jackson, Vickery Mills, and now just looking at you, John. The third escaped me. It'll come back.
I think I know the
Mimosa.
third. Mimosa, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. My mind went blank too.
Mine too.
Yeah.
I looked at you and I thought, wait a minute.
Yep.
So same thing. We have a teacher that will go, and she does a whole series of classes for free. We pay our teacher, and we buy all the art supplies. If we have extra funding, we make sure we have supplies for the children to take home to share with their families as well.
Yeah.
And then pre-COVID, we were in several of the assisted living facilities in our area. Art's a wonderful therapy. And that's actually how I had started as a volunteer, was doing a program at the assisted living facilities. And then we do have a ongoing bi-monthly program for 55 and over residents at Newtown Park in Johns Creek. Our teacher teaches the class over there. And the work is just delightful. She is full every class. During COVID, we had to kind of rearrange how we were going to do outreach because many of our places closed. We have an initiative that was created by our curator and program director, Althea Foster, to ensure that we were getting art to the community. And it's twofold, this program. So we call it our Family Fun Day, Swag Bag Day. And we realized that the population in Johns Creek is changing a lot. And we wanted to make sure that we learn more about them and that everybody in the neighborhood learns about our new neighbors. So we identified several celebrations throughout the year, and we get educational pieces and art activities and put them in swag bags. And families would simply sign up ahead of time and drive up to get their swag bag. We had kicked it off with a celebration of Diwali. And then our largest was our Chinese Lunar New Year celebration.
Right.
We gave away close to 250 gift bags. This is all free.
Wow.
So we work very hard to make sure the arts is out there and accessible, but at the same time being educational for everybody. And this is an ongoing initiative. People have loved this opportunity to celebrate all of our neighbors in our community.
I want to ask 2 different questions about how folks can get involved. One is about volunteering and how folks can, what your volunteer needs are and how folks can do that.
We love our volunteers. It's wonderful. We have volunteers they start in middle school and then all the way up to 88 years of age.
Wow.
It's wonderful. So, for example, during the year, we will get an intern from one of the local high schools, or maybe 2 interns that come in, and they'll either help at the front desk, they'll help create flyers, folders, answer the phones, sort supplies. During summer camp, we use a lot of volunteers that are assistants in the classrooms during summer. This summer, we anticipate over 1,000 children through our summer art camps. So we'll have a lead teacher, and then an assistant and volunteers. So they just work hand in hand with the lead teachers. So that's on site that we need the help. And it could be even just testing markers and crayons and sharpening pencils. It can be very simple. We will be at the International Festival, and we have probably close to 35 volunteers coming to help with our International Festival.
Wow.
And they, again, are young people in high school, and then we have some adults in our community that are kind of coming to help with all the art activities. We'll have 1,400 art activities representing 7 different countries.
Wow.
So, being a nonprofit, all the help we can get is extremely appreciated.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of other help that folks might be able to provide, we are North Fulton Business Radio. We've got a lot of businesses that listen to the show. How can business owners and business leaders get involved with the Johns Creek Art Center?
Well, first of all, they can get more information by visiting our website, johnscreekarts.org. And that'll kind of break down everything that we've talked about today to show them how huge we are. In a year like this year, we'll we'll reach at least 10,000 people with all the programming that we do in our building and outside of our building. The other way that they can help, call me directly, because our needs kind of shift and change. Right now we have camp coming up, and we have children that need funding for scholarships to attend a camp. And a $250 donation gives a child a whole week of art camp. All the supplies are included, and we do have that need. We also have a need for funding to help with our outreach programs. They do get expensive for us, but we're not going to give up. We want to continue with our programming at the Drake House and at the Title I schools. And we want to continue our Family Fun Swag Bag Days as well. So any of those fundings or even art supplies certainly help. And we've had people call and say, what kind of markers, what kind of crayons, what kind of paper? And we can tell you exactly what we need and what we have to use. Because if we don't have to spend the money on those items, we can even do more programming. It's very important to us. I want just a couple other things, John, that I wanted to pop in here.
Please.
So last year we celebrated the 25th year of the Art Center. And I'm so proud of that. We've been kicking along as a little nonprofit, survived the COVID. Last year, Commissioner Liz Hausman presented the Art Center with a proclamation recognizing the 25 years in the community and all that we have given to the community.
Right.
And then last year as well, our representative, Angelica Cauchet, presented a resolution.
Oh, yeah.
From the Senate, from the House of Representatives to the Art Center, again, recognizing all the work that we've done and all the thousands of people that we have served over the 25 years in the community. We're extremely fortunate for the support that we've received from Fulton County Arts and Culture and the Fulton County Board of Commissioners. This year is a big deal. We've been recognized through them as a legacy partner with the Fulton County Arts and Culture and with the Fulton County Board of Commissioners as well. So we're super grateful for that help.
Absolutely.
And then we also work very closely and get help and support from the Georgia Council for the Arts as well. The arts are huge in the state of Georgia. There are hundreds of art organizations. And when I'm talking art organizations, it's, we have the photography groups, the cystography, we have collage and color pencil societies and dance troupes and symphonies and choral groups. We're very fortunate to be in a state where the arts are embraced, and it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. What great work. The Johns Creek Arts Center, folks, Stephanie Donaldson is the executive director, and obviously you've got a great team.
Oh, we do.
Of folks, because you've been bragging about them all, and I think that's wonderful. That's what you're here to do. So congratulations to you and to all those great folks. For those that would like to be in touch, would like to know more about your great work and get plugged in, how can they do that?
Well, I love a phone call. If you go to our website, johnscreekarts.org, our phone number is there. I'm there. I'm happy to take phone calls, answer any question that you may have. If you want to come in for a tour, if I'm not available, we have a fabulous group of people there that are as passionate about the Art Center as I am.
That's terrific. Stephanie Donaldson, thank you so much for coming on the show.
John, it's been such a pleasure, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, folks, just a quick thought for you. If you are looking for a different kind of team building activity, one that does not involve sprained ankles and broken arms and whatnot, well, go to ansculinaryconcepts.com. Now, that's the website for an award-winning culinary studio, A&S Culinary Concepts, and they do corporate catering, and they do Big Green Egg boot camps, and they've got a lot of different activities and events and classes, speaking of classes, but they also do corporate team building. So if you're looking for a different kind of way to honor your team members and to bring your folks closer together, give that a try. I think you'll be glad you did. I've been out there, and they do terrific work. They're right there on Jones Bridge Road in Johns Creek. 678-336-9196 is the phone number if you want to connect directly with Executive Chef Andrew Traub. He's terrific. And folks, North Fulton Business Radio, we're working on show number 450, I think, right now. I think that's where we are in our series, and we've been at it about 6 years, and we're here to celebrate terrific business and community leaders like Stephanie, and we need your help. If you have heard something in this show that makes you want to share it, please do so, because that's what we need you to do to really give greater exposure to our guests, and that's what we're all about, is celebrating the great work that they do. So if you could help us in that regard, we'd greatly appreciate it. So for my guest, Stephanie Donaldson, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.